Hi, welcome. My name is Trish. So let's talk about the drones again today, the orbs. So I've had a little bit of a logical thought about, because the cards did ask me to be very logical in the reading, and I got a bit excited because I do love the UFO topic. So I did go beyond logic in that reading. I think the most important thing that message that was coming through the strongest was the discernment aspect of that. So really saying, use your judgment on what it is, and willing to know if the difference between if something is real or something is not real. No, I'm not saying they're not real. They are a physical thing, but they're maybe not what they're being made out to be. So it was really about using discernment was the main message that was coming through there. Now the other message that was a warning message that was coming through, they kept telling me radiation, something about radiation, and spraying is the other thing. So and being cautious to the people in the area, because that could be a health issue or a health hazard. So they're being very clear about that message as well. The other thing that I found very interesting when I gave it logical thought is that the reading that I'd done on Obama, the Obama speech. Now I never read on somebody's speech and taking an aspect out of someone's speech, but I felt very drawn to do that. I felt like I had to ask just about that little bit of his speech, and what came up when I said, what is next? What is their next plan? What's next on the agenda? What's coming next? It said drones. Was the drone card was sitting there in that spread. This was a few weeks ago. So that was really weird. One thing that I read on something I would never normally touch or read on, and I don't read Obama, but I felt very drawn to read on the subject he said about gaining control, about one person or one side. I think he was meaning Donald Trump. This is only me, this is my opinion of what he was meaning. I don't really know what he's meaning. I'm not in his head, but I think he was talking about Donald Trump, that side trying to stack the deck to get permanent power over the people. Now, in the card reading, when I was trying to think of it as in Democrats and Republics, I wasn't getting that at all. I was getting it the people. It was like media against social media. So, and I equate media to the elites and to the system, and then social media I equate to the people. So it was about censoring the people or censoring the social media, and how do you get control of the people? That's where I was getting the control, to gain permanent control. That's the question. That's what I was asking about. What was one side trying to stack the deck to get permanent control? Now, what was the answer that was coming out there was, it was about control of the people, not control in a political sense. It was about how do you control the people. That's what I was getting out of that reading. But what was strange was the drone card was sitting there, being that it's like playing the next card. That's the next card on their agenda. So very interesting. I think those were the main three. I didn't reread that interview or that reading that I done, but I think that was the three main things that I was getting, apart from me being very excited about UFOs because I love the topic. But anyway, I'm logical. I'm doing my last card reading for the day. I just thought I'd tap in and take it in a different direction. So look at it like, because I did say whether it's real or not, it's a health issue. It's about something about radiation, something about spraying. So take that as a warning, whether it was real or not. So what I want to get at today is people are saying they're seeing drones, which is not drones, orbs. That's very interesting, and that's what I've seen as an orb-like thing, which was shooting down, because I was talking to my daughter about it, and she said, yeah, I saw the footage, and it was like a big orange orb, and this is what we saw, and it was shooting things down, and that's exactly what we saw when we saw it in about 2010, 2011. My daughter and I were together. We saw this big giant orange orb, and it looked like it was shooting things down, and it hovered there for 40 minutes, went towards the mountains, and then we saw light shooting back up towards it. So interesting. That's why I get so excited about the topic of UFOs, because yeah, you just always have that quest for knowledge, or that hunger for knowledge and information as to what it could have been that you've seen yourself. Anyway, I digress. Let's get back into this reading. I'm going to ask about, is there orbs? Are they seeing orbs? Are there orbs around? Now, and that was the other thing that came up in that reading. It said something was fake, so not real. When I was asking were these things, the drones that they were seeing, are they real, it came up with sightings around the world, and I said there is definitely sightings around the world that are real. I said that in the reading. I said, but something is either faked or being faked, or I said Donald Trump knows information and he is keeping it to himself, because I think it was like the fake news card, which I say Donald Trump because that's my card for him, and keeping that information to himself. So either he knows and keeping it to himself, which is really interesting because he done a speech and said that the military knows, the government knows, they just need to come clean with the people and tell the people. But I think he may know too, but it's not his job to say. It's not his job to say what it is. And he's trying to put it back onto the current government, saying they need to be the ones to tell you, and maybe that's real. Maybe that is the case. They do need to tell you that. But it feels all a little bit strategy-like to me, what's going on in America there. It's like a lot of game playing, a bit of strategy going on there. There's lots going on, and I think it could be getting even worse. I think, and I did say in that reading, there's worse things to come. There's more things to come. Look at that. As I'm talking, there's a big web of lies going on within the politics of America and what's going on with that little strategy game playing that's going on around with them. There's a lot of strategy and lies taking place at the moment in order to slow things down, suspend things. So this is a hangman card saying putting delays and suspensions on maybe the handover. So maybe they're trying to delay that. Maybe they're trying to suspend that in some way. So I was asking about the orbs, but now I guess I'm just asking if the cards want to talk about anything that I'm talking about right now. Okay, something hidden, hiding something from us, and I did say that. I said that I feel like they knew. I said the elites know, and they're hiding it from us. They're worried about. For one thing, I also said was don't panic, don't fear, because I had a lot of people worried in the comments asking what I do in this situation. People asking if we're going to see it in Australia, and I said in the dream that I had a few weeks back, I didn't see it, so I don't think it affects Australia. And that's what I commented back. And then I've had other people in there saying, well, what would you do? What would you do after the reading that you had? What would you do? So I'm feeling one of the most important things I think they were saying is discernment, knowing if something is real or not real, trusting your gut instincts. And the other thing is don't panic, don't fear, because it's all about trying to get the people in a state of panic and fear. And I did say that in the reading. I said don't panic. So it's about not being in a state of panic or fear, because I also felt like making preparations, the elites or the government or whoever were making these preparations because of they're worried about how the people were going to react, and the societal collapse it was, and like public breakdown. So like the way the people would act. There was two cards that came out. One was societal collapse, and the elites were preparing for that to happen. So they had plans already in progress for what they do if the public revolts, I guess, or rebels, or stands up to whatever craziness is going on. But I do feel there is still a warning about the health. So let's ask the cards that. Should people in that area be concerned around health matters to do with these sightings? Okay. Wheel of Fortune. I'm not sure that's like... Okay, so digital footprint. This is people taking photographs on their phones. What the cards are indicating around health for the people in the area. It is saying people taking phones, we have to use judgment about what is real and what's not real. So discernment, absolutely must use discernment about what we're seeing on social media. The other thing is there is powerful people involved here, so powerful groups involved here that have money backing them. So there's a lot going on in this area. So we may not actually know what it is, but there is powerful people involved here. Now, when I was asked, because I'm asking about the health, it's saying that maybe you need to cover up. So maybe you need to either stay inside or cover up. So maybe there is some kind of toxic fumes, maybe there is some kind of radiation or something being sprayed. So that's what it's saying about maybe covering up or staying inside. That's what the card says. Now let's ask what the people need to do, because one of the questions in the comments was, what would you do in this situation? People are fearful. I feel don't be feared, because that just puts out really bad energy out in there. So don't be fearful. But let's just see if the cards think you need to be fearful about something. Let's just see if there is a serious matter you need to be worried about. A lot of cards on the table here. I was reading with my crime deck and I didn't realize that's why I switched decks midway. So what I did get out of the crime deck was think differently about what we're seeing on social media. So that's all what we're being seen in the media or social media. This card says social media, media or social media, and we need to think differently about it. Now the other cards that came up, I'm using my new prediction. I thought, because I'm asking what should the people do, I thought I'll go to my personal predictions for the people. What should the people do? Now we've got here that truth to be revealed. So people wanting the truth, they want to know what's going on around the flying objects. You can see here he's holding the flying objects. People want to know the truth. Truth will be revealed and the end of a battle. So is it related to the battle, like the Ukraine battle here? Because this is what's falling out on the cards here. Now the other thing is to block out chaos. So this is where I said don't fear. Try not to get too caught up in all the fear part of it. I do feel it somehow relates to the battle that's going on, or the ending of the battle, or how do I say this? So the battle being ended but then pursuing it, making it go longer, so not ending the battle. So if the battle was at an end and then this all happened and then it all starts up again, so something around the end of a battle, truth is going to be revealed about this situation. So I feel it could be related to the battles that are going on around Ukraine. I'm feeling more than anything. Or the other thing that I said was the place that just released prisoners, something around that as well. Cards did say something around an Asian country as well. Now we've got joining of forces, society collapse. So this is what they're worried about, society collapsing. They've got so much footage and security footage here. Something here around submersibles or underwater submarines. So something going on with submarines or submersibles, and somehow related to the rulership handover. This is the January future time, the January handover. Now let me just delve deeper into each of these cards. Is society going to collapse? Will society collapse, or is that what they're pushing for? Are they pushing for society collapse? Discontent over the loss of the election. A change, bringing in a change of perspective here. Now I'm going to ask about for the other one that we need to be an end of the battle. What is it about the end of a battle connected to these drones and what's going on there in that area? More information. Again, discontent about the loss. So look, at the end of the battle could be the loss of that battle, not the election. There's some kind of discontent about a loss. Okay, so I took that to be the loss of the election, but maybe it's not, because now I'm talking about a battle. Maybe it's discontent around the loss of a battle that was going on. I don't know which one. I don't know if it's Ukraine, or I don't know if it's the one where the prisoners were released in that area, but there's discontent around a loss of a battle. Maybe there is something going on there now, something that's somehow connected to the flying objects, the drones or the orbs. Should the people be worried? Okay, so they're saying that they're fixing the problem, whatever the problem is, they're fixing the problem, and change is coming, transforming the situation, change is coming. It could be growing. The situation with the sightings could grow, and in that case, perhaps there could be a little bit more worry, but I feel like they're looking at fixing the problem or doing something to fix a problem. So I'm not going to go in and make this too long of a reading. So thank you so much for watching. I think it's easier just to do smaller segments on this type of reading. So thank you so much for watching.